I want to talk about this guy go by the name of Stu Boy Blue. This dude is he a Crip. Apparently, he looked up to Nipsey Hussle so much to the point to where he was having a conversation with Adam 22 on the No Jumper podcast, and he pretty much almost like was about to attack Adam like on some stuff to where he was so hurt. But I'm gonna play the clip and we're gonna talk about it. Let's go.
Oh no, cuz like I seen that shit, bro. And then I'm like, cuz what the I swear to God, I did all the drugs I had, nigga. I just did it, all of them, bro. Cause I'm like, cuz this shit like a dream.
But why do you think it hit you so hard?
Nigga, that was my big homie on 6-0. That was my big homie, bro. Like, that snip. Dead homies. And he rich and he's still here. Like, what the on Crib? Who the on 6-0? Who the would do some like that? Dead homies on 6-0. That's my big homie on Crib. Black Sam raised me on 6-0. That's family. That's my big homie, bro. I swear to God. Crib. To this day, God, that shit still hurt me, God. Oh, I ain't trying to get up all here crying and shit, but
that's real shit.
Nigga, that's my big homie, God. They killed it, bro.
Yeah, man. So first and foremost, man, R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle, man. Nipsey Hussle truly, he made an impact in this world when he was here. And there's a lot of people looked up to him, apparently. This dude is from the gang, I guess, that Nipsey is from. So I'm looking at this dude and I'm looking at the tattoos on his face. I'm looking at, how his emotions are going all over the place. And I couldn't help but think to myself, man, this dude is a mental case. This dude is a mental case, man. I'm looking at this dude like, I understand too, because he was hurt. So, he seemed to be genuinely hurt about Nipsey Hussle dying. But the part when he got aggressive and was screaming on 6-0, it just amazes me how loyal these guys are to these gangs. This dude, he don't look like he in his 20s. He probably late 30s. Or whatever, or somewhere in the 30s at least. But the loyalty that these guys have to these gangs is amazing, because it really speaks to, man, how the home is so broken, and these young boys have to find themselves finding love outside of the household. So where they attach to these type of gangs and they do these crazy things, they got to get bled in or whatever you call it, or they got to fight their way. Sometimes they get killed trying to get into the gang. Once they get in the gang, they consider each other family, and once you consider each other family, now, if anybody in that family got beef or stuff that they got to handle, it's your responsibility to go out there and take care of business. So you automatically going to be in some shit. The bigger the family, just think about that. The bigger the family, the more possibility of somebody in that family having beef with somebody, which makes it that much more likely that you're going to end up in some shit, And I think that's how a lot of brothers get taken down. A lot of brothers have been taken down over the years, have been going through so much hell because they get in these situations and they're so loyal to it. Some guys, even in their late ages of life, man, they got guys that's 60 years old, man, still, claiming sets, still gangbanging, calling themselves gangsters. Personally, I think it's pretty embarrassing for a 50, 60-year-old man to be sitting there talking about, he a blood, he a Crip. You need to grow up, bro. Personally, I think you need to grow up. If you're that old, get a life, bro. Get a life. Get a life. You should be trying to entice these kids to do something more positive and not be sitting there trying to be on board with the foolishness. Now, if it's something positive you're trying to do within the gang, then cool. But if you sitting here calling yourself a big homie, like somebody like a Wacko 100, somebody like him, you know, I mean, I just think it's buffoonery, bro. I think it's buffoonery. But if you're a person that you have, you've sworn into these gangs, now you go to jail. Jail is a whole nother scenery where these guys are clicked up. I'm hearing right now in Cobb County Jail. I live in Atlanta, for those who don't know. In Cobb County Jail and other jails in Atlanta, I'm hearing that they are severely like gang infested. Like literally, you go in there, you better have a side. If you're not gang affiliated in some of these jails, I'm hearing these guys, you know what I mean? Like it's like you a one man, like you're a man on the island. It's like you basically dog food because everybody else clicked up, they got help, they got backup, they got help, and you by yourself because you ain't in no gang. So it could be very dangerous for somebody who's not in a gang when gang culture has become so prevalent and it's everywhere, So I think, it's just a sad situation, man. It's a sad situation. I do think that, there are times where it can be beneficial if done the right way. But ultimately, a lot of this stuff only leads to violence, man. Our community, our culture uses this in a violent manner, and it's never for nothing good, hardly ever. And it's just sad. We see a brother like this crying over Nipsey Hussle that looked like his whole life, his whole being is invested into being a Crip or being a gang member. It just really to me, I empathize for his pain, but I look at his character as a person and I can't help but think to myself, like, man, what the hell? Like, what have you been doing your whole life? Like, what exactly, you don't have anything else to be loyal to by this time. You don't have anything where's your family? You got kids yet? A wife? It's just sad that some people never really grow up or overcome a mentality when they were very young.